What if time isn't linear, but instead operates in divine time loops? Many ancient traditions, mystics, and now even modern quantum physics suggest that reality isn't a straight path moving forward. It's a self-repeating, recursive system where events can influence both the past and the future. This means that consciousness isn't just experiencing time, it's actively shaping it. The participatory universe model suggests that we are not passive observers, but co-creators of our own timeline, constantly navigating an infinite field of possibilities. Déjà vu, precognitive dreams, and synchronicities could all be clues that we are reliving certain moments, fine-tuning outcomes until we align with the destined path. The idea of quantum immortality further deepens this mystery. If existence is an ever-looping system, what happens when we make a different choice? Do we split into parallel realities, each carrying a version of ourselves along different timelines? The many worlds interpretation suggests exactly that. Every decision creates an offshoot reality, meaning that what we perceive as the past might actually be just one of many iterations. In this sense, we are constantly rewriting our reality, playing out different versions of our lives until we align with the highest version of ourselves. What we call destiny may just be the inevitable outcome of enough loops aligning into coherence. For those who have ever felt trapped in repetitive life patterns, this concept is both terrifying and liberating. If reality is structured as a divine time loop, then breaking free requires more than just external action. It demands a shift in self-awareness. Recognizing patterns, rewriting internal narratives, and consciously choosing different responses could be the key to escaping karmic cycles and stepping into a new version of existence. But if our perception of time is an illusion, what does that say about our consciousness itself? That's where quantum physics enters the conversation, reshaping everything we think we know about reality. Modern quantum physics has revealed something shocking. Consciousness isn't just an observer of reality, it actively shapes it. The famous observer effect in quantum mechanics proves that particles exist in a state of probability until they are measured, collapsing into a definite form only when observed. This suggests that reality, at its core, is not fixed but fluid, participatory, and consciousness-dependent. If everything we perceive is a byproduct of observation, then self-awareness is the key to unlocking deeper layers of existence. This aligns perfectly with simulation theory, which argues that our universe is an information-based construct responding to energy fields and vibrational inputs. The implications of quantum consciousness go far beyond abstract theory. They impact our daily lives. If reality is shaped by perception, then thoughts, emotions, and belief systems act as programming codes, influencing what timelines we experience. Those who master their internal state can effectively manipulate their quantum field, bending probability in their favor. This isn't mystical thinking. It's an extension of the participatory universe model, where each individual functions as both a creator and an experiencer of their own simulation. What you assume to be true literally alters the energetic matrix of your existence. If this is the case, then what we call physical reality is nothing more than a projection of higher dimensional consciousness. The holographic principle, which suggests that all of reality is encoded on a lower dimensional boundary, reinforces this idea. It means that we aren't living in the universe. Rather, the universe is unfolding through us. This raises an important question. If our consciousness is the interface generating reality, could we be living inside a holographic simulation? And if so, who or what is running the program? That's where the simulation hypothesis takes center stage. What if everything you perceive, every sight, sound, and sensation, isn't happening outside of you, but is instead a projection from within? The holographic principle suggests that all of reality is encoded on a lower dimensional boundary, meaning that the universe as we experience it could be nothing more than a complex illusion. This idea aligns disturbingly well with the simulation hypothesis, which proposes that our reality is a program construct, much like a highly advanced video game. If true, this would mean that consciousness isn't a byproduct of the brain, but rather the central processing unit that generates the entire experience. In this model, quantum mechanics plays a crucial role. The observer effect implies that reality remains in a state of potential until it is perceived, suggesting that the simulation only renders what is being observed, much like how a video game only generates the parts of the world the player is currently exploring. This would explain bizarre phenomena like synchronicity, déjà vu, and time loops, as well as reports of glitches in reality. If existence is being computed in real time, then what we call laws of physics may simply be rules encoded within the system, flexible under the right conditions. But if we are living in a universal simulation, the next logical question is, who or what is running it? Is it an advanced civilization, a higher dimensional intelligence, or even an aspect of our higher self observing its own creation from beyond the physical plane? Many spiritual traditions suggest that self-awareness is the key to awakening from the illusion, breaking free from pre-programmed limitations. If that's the case, then our journey isn't just about understanding the simulation. It's about realizing that we have the power to rewrite it. And that brings us to one of the most controversial ideas in physics, the many-worlds interpretation and the possibility of quantum immortality. If reality is a simulation, then what happens when we make a choice? According to the many-worlds interpretation, every decision spawns a new timeline where an alternate version of you exists, playing out a different path. This means that every possibility exists simultaneously across infinite timelines, and what you perceive as reality is just one strand within a vast web of parallel worlds. Every moment, your consciousness selects a specific outcome, shifting you into a reality that matches your vibrational frequency. If this is true, then the idea of a singular, linear life is an illusion. We are constantly shifting between parallel realities without even realizing it. This brings us to the concept of quantum immortality, the theory that consciousness never truly ceases, but instead jumps to a surviving version of itself in another reality. In other words, when you die in one timeline, your awareness seamlessly continues in another, where you never experienced that death. This could explain the phenomenon of near-death experiences, where people report being in one reality, blacking out, and waking up in a slightly altered version of their world. It could also explain the Mandela effect, where large groups of people remember historical details differently, suggesting that they've shifted timelines without consciously noticing. But what does this mean for free will? If we are constantly moving between infinite realities, does that mean destiny is fixed, or do we have control? The answer may lie in conscious reality selection, the idea that by aligning our consciousness with a specific frequency, we can deliberately shift into the version of reality we desire. In this sense, mastering self-awareness is the key to navigating the multiverse intentionally. But if time itself is not linear, could we also influence events that have already happened? This is where the mind-bending concept of retrocausality challenges everything we know about past, present, and future. What if your future self could send signals back to your present self, influencing your decisions without you realizing it? Retrocausality is the mind-bending concept that the future can affect the past, meaning that time is not a straight arrow, but a loop where events influence one another across different points. This challenges everything we assume about free will and predestination, suggesting that reality operates in a feedback loop where actions taken today can rewrite past experiences. This would explain phenomena like precognitive dreams, déjà vu, and inexplicable synchronicities, where people seem to remember something before it happens. If linear time is an illusion, then what we call past and future are just perspectives within the same eternal now. In quantum mechanics, experiments have shown that measuring a particle in the present can change its state in the past, proof that time manipulation is possible on a fundamental level. If reality behaves this way at the smallest scale, why wouldn't it apply to consciousness as well? This could mean that our destiny isn't set in stone, but rather a shifting, fluid construct where awareness determines outcomes. Those who master this concept could theoretically influence past decisions, shifting into alternate versions of their own history. So, do we truly have free will, Or are we simply choosing between pre-existing possibilities? The answer may lie in self-creation, the idea that our awareness isn't bound by time, but rather operates across multiple dimensions simultaneously. If we learn to control our vibrational frequency, we can step into the version of reality that best aligns with our desires, breaking free from the illusion of a predetermined path. The more we understand these principles, the more we realize that reality isn't something happening to us. It's something we are actively shaping moment by moment. The question is, are you ready to wake up from the illusion?